ago, well, I was attending my very first Toastmasters meeting, and I have to say that I don't think I've ever been more welcomed in my whole life. She made me feel so important and so special.
How many of you in here have ever been a coach in baseball? Okay? Oh, you're a little young. How many in here would like to be a coach in baseball someday? Oh, good. How many's played baseball in here? Good. All right. Well, about 35 years ago, now that's dating me just a little bit, but I got the opportunity to be not only a mom of a young man to be playing baseball, but I was the coach's wife. And let me tell you, it was a great experience. It was lots of fun, but I think we kept the Excedrin and Advil company in really good business because it was a real trying time for us. My son had just turned 9, and when you turn 9 is when you get to play ball, right? So we ran down to the field because we were so excited. And we got there, and we waited, and we waited, and we waited, and we waited. No coach. Nobody. We just did that. And we all looked at each other thinking, well, here's all these little boys, and there's no coach. What's going on here? So we found out later that there was no coach. Now, how can we play ball if we don't have a coach, right? So I prodded my husband. I said, look, why don't you do this? Why don't you do this? He goes, oh, are you kidding me? I said, no, you're really good. You're really good. You need to do this. So I said, okay. So we took on, now it should be really exciting, right? Coach Little League, all these little boys that are fun and exciting and have a great time. Why, when we got these little boys, I'm going to tell you a little bit about these young men, all right? We had 2 sets of twins, the Tholen twins and the Nebeker twins. Well, the Nebeker twins kept coming up, and they went going, hey coach, coach, oh, which hand do I put the mitt on? Oh my gosh, which hand do I put the mitt on? Well, that was the first sign that we were in trouble, right? Then the second set of twins, the Tholen kids, oh, they were great. Yeah, he played ball before, you bet. Boy, I can swing that bat and I can hit. And the other kid was out in left field all the time, just doing his thing, right? Well, that was another bad thing that we found out about, that they just really were actors and could care less whether they really played ball. Then we had Garth, who was our dancer. He would rather dance in the field than play ball. And then we had David, and David, oh, he liked to chew his nails and put his mitt under here. Well, how do you catch a ball if your mitt's under your arm, right? We had a pitcher that he just picked up the ball and threw it as fast as he could go. And the poor kid that caught, which was my son, didn't even have time to set, like catch, you know? So we had to tell him to count to 3 before he could even throw the ball. The name of our team was the Astros, but has anybody seen the Bad News Bears? Well, that's kind of what we looked like. They didn't know how to catch the ball, they didn't know how to throw the ball, let alone hit the ball, right? That was amazing. So we started to practice. Well, after 3 weeks, they could finally line up to each other like this and throw and catch a ball. They didn't know what to do with it, but they could throw it and they could catch it. Well, it went on like that for quite a while. My husband was like a nervous wreck, and I was the same wreck as he was because we lived together, right? The thing that really happened and what impressed me most about these young kids was the fact that they did accomplish. And it was the very last game of the season. And they were to play the Cubs. Now the Cubs were the chosen team, and they had not lost a game. Can you imagine? Here's this team that can't even hardly catch, play, bat, ball, whatever, and they're playing the first place team. Well, nobody had beaten the Cubs, but here we came. The game got so exciting and so fun. It was like a real nail biter. I mean, I was biting my nails and I was drawing all over the scorebook because the game was tied. We were up. It was the last inning, and we had an opportunity to be the one and only team to beat them. Why, do you think we were excited? Oh my gosh, the parents were going up and down on the bench and the boys were screaming and hollering, and oh, it was so exciting. But guess what happened? We beat them. We, the Astros that didn't know how to catch, didn't know what to do with the ball, couldn't swing a bat, they beat the Cubs. Why, it was accolades all over the place. Everybody was screaming and hollering. The kids were bawling, the parents were squeezing, and my husband and I were like in heaven. But what did they learn? They learned to play as a team. They learned confidence. They learned to win, and they lost as well. But they came together as one body and defeated the only team that had never been beaten. So you ask, do I enjoy being a coach's wife? Oh, let me tell you, I do. And every time I hear sign-ups, I just kind of laugh, but I always want to holler, hey, batter up. So you need to write down, what is the purpose of my talk? You know, why are we giving a speech? Well, where am I going to get all this information? What am I going to speak on? What's going to be interesting? What will they like? And how will I present it? So the first thing you want to do is think about all the experiences you've had in your life. So you want to think about, like, who's my best friend? What are some of the vacations that I've taken? Where have we been that's really like a camping trip that's exciting? Where have I been lately that's been really entertaining, that I can make sure that the talk that you're putting together or the speech that you're putting together is something that you might know something about, or something that you have a lot of enthusiasm about, or something that you really enjoy, that you really, really like. Because you'll find out the things you really like, you'll be able to present really well. I took my pencil and I just started writing. And what I do is I write, and I don't care whether I spell the word right. I don't care if it's proper English. I just put my thoughts down. I don't stop. I just take my pencil and I start writing. When you start getting those thoughts down, then you'll start watching TV, or maybe you go to a store, or maybe you read a book or something, and all of a sudden you'll say, hey, that's what I'm writing about. Oh, I could use this in my speech. So you gobble that up, take it home, put it on your speech. And there's three main things that you have to have in your speech. First main thing you have to have is an opening. You can use a question. You can use a quote. You can use a statement. You can go, ah! I've got everybody's attention, don't I? I call it a grabber. It's to sit up and everybody's eyes go open really big, and then, oh, I'm going to listen to this. The second thing you want to have is the body. Now, the body is where all the facts are. So in the middle is all the meat and the potatoes of your speech. Then the last thing you want is the closing. So I summarized everything. I wrapped it all up in a little present, and I said, this is the end of my story. You have to write the talk for yourself. Everybody's got their own personality. Everybody presents differently. Everybody puts their own flavor into what they write. So it's so important that you do your own talk, that you write it, that you work on it, that you add your own words, your own flavors, your own personality, and your own information. Then it will become. What I usually do is I scribble my talk like I just told you, then I go back and I edit, and then I make sure I have an opening, a body, and a closing.